Hello everyone, welcome back to our game of Stellaris here. We were just working through our various things before we get the game going. We have got our research planned out. We have got...
The situation log displays a list of all currently available special projects and various other points of interest. New items will likely appear as we begin exploring the galaxy.
We've got our situation log, and we've got Veer over here, who is very quick to tell us what all is going on. Earth is a continental world. We have got our science ship right here. It is set on a course to map out our solar system, and it is doing well. Our construction ship is going to be a little bit... It's going to be a little bit unneeded right at the moment. We are waiting for our science ship to find something worthy of throwing a space base around, a mining station. So hopefully somewhere like Luna, maybe Mercury or Pallas over here, maybe something will have some resources on it. The sun should. I wouldn't be surprised if the sun didn't have some energy credits, perhaps, and we could put a energy mine around it. But we'll have to see how it goes. One thing we do need to do before we get things started...
Military fleets are used to protect our emerging empire from threats, or to expand our glorious rule through force of arms, if we so wish.
It says our navy size is limited by technology and the skill of the commanding admiral. So as you see, we currently have 3 ships of 12. We can control up to 12. Our no admiral has been assigned to our starting fleet, so if we have the influence points to spare, we may wish to recruit one, and that is what we're going to do. Let's assign a leader.
The Leaders tab lets us hire, dismiss, and assign idle governors, scientists, admirals, and generals.
Okay, let's recruit. We are looking at the admirals here. We got 3 possibilities. This one is good with evasion and minus 25% for emergency FTL damage. So Mindy Bean. This leader fights deviously, relying on misdirection and surprise to get the better of the enemy. Okay, that's not too bad. She's 48. Will cost us, each one of these will cost us 45 influence points, which is this right up here. All right. Andre de Castal. Sensor range, plus 25%. This leader is an expert at reconnaissance, having the technical skill to always get the most out of long-range starship sensors. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And fleet logistician, ship upkeep minus 15%. Juliette Pellier. This leader has mastered the field of logistics and knows how to manage supplies to keep maintenance costs down. So do we want to go with the manager? Do we want to go with the scout? Do we want to go with a person who's good at fighting defensively and evasively? I think for the early game, we are going to go with the scout and go with that plus 25 sensor range. And there we do. We've assigned it to it. Very good, because what we are going to do with this fleet, and let us zoom in. Let's see. Let's get rid of that. Let's go into the fleet. I want to look at it. There you go. Very pretty, are they not? Nice, big, chunky, blocky Earth ships. Those are corvettes. You see elephant class corvettes. This is the Bulldog. You've got the Mosquito and the O'Hare. All 3 elephant class. Let's see if we can actually take a look at one. I think we'll have to go to the shipyard for that, won't we?
All the ships in use within our empire are designed here. New hull sizes and components will be unlocked as we research new technologies.
There's our elephant class corvette. As you see, it has 2 small fission generators. It has got a warp drive 1, combat computer default, chemical thrusters, ship-mounted radar, and 2 sets of small nuclear missiles and a set of medium nuclear missiles. So that's what our corvettes are armed with. They're not too bad right here at the moment. What we are going to send them off and why we needed the scout is because we are going to go out into the galactic map and we are going to send our scout. Which one do we want? We want the first fleet. We're going to send it over here to Bernard Star and take a look. All right, so everybody's doing something now, and we are going to get our take it off pause and let time start running. So here we go. We've got our normal speed. You see the fleets are all taking off. This one's headed over to do scientific exploration of Luna.
To overcome the vast distances that separate star systems, our scientists have developed the warp drive. Ships equipped with this device can travel between systems at velocities exceeding that of light speed.
Okay, and that's what's happening right here as these guys are headed out. Although ships can warp to any system within range, warp drives can only be activated outside the gravity well of the star. Ships coming out of warp also require time to power up their systems again. The length of this process depends on how far the ship has traveled. That's what these ships, our military force, are trying to get outside of the gravity well, which is this dotted line here. So once it can get outside of that, it can fire off its warp engines and head on over
new technologies will be critical to our success. I tell you this not merely as a product of unfettered technological progress, but as your trusted advisor and, I suspect, your only true friend.
Our only true friend. One important technology that we should research as soon as possible is New Worlds Protocol. It will give us access to colony ships, which will allow us to establish footholds on other planets. So they've updated the situation log. Let's pause and take a look at that. Not ship designer. I want situation log. There we go. We got one tutorial, which is survey the home system. We're in the process of that. The next is technology research. They want us to do the New Worlds Protocol, which will allow us to build the colony ships. And if I believe, yes, we are. Our society is currently working on the New Worlds Protocol, and we've got 68 months left on that. Almost, a little over 5 years? A little less than 5 years. Is that right? 50? Nope. 5 years, 8 months. So in 5 years, 8 months, assuming we don't have anything else to interrupt it, we should get the New Worlds Protocol and be allowed to build colony ships. Now, as I said before, as events happen, you'll quite often see us get things we need to research, like aliens and all, that are going to interfere with that. The other thing is, let's zoom in on our science ship. There we go. And as you see, it's busily sitting here right off of Mercury doing science. Science! Okay. You see here our fleet is currently got nothing to do. It's idle. So we have came to Bernard Star. As you see, we've got a number of planets around Bernard Star. A gas giant, a molten world. We've got a toxic world, a barren world, and another barren world. It really doesn't look, I don't see any moons or anything, so I really don't think that there's anything promising of Bernard Star here. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose our fleet, and we are going to jump it over here to Sirius. Let's put it on the Dog Star. And we are going to start time again. And let things run. And there it goes, jumping. Our science ship is busily going away.
We have found an anomaly.
Whoops.
From time to time, our science ships will discover strange things while surveying worlds. These can be researched by scientists, but be certain their skills are up to the task.
Should the researched effort fail, there is a small chance of losing either the scientist or the science ship, or, if we are especially unlucky, both. Very interesting. All right, so as you see here, we have an anomaly at Mercury. Let's zoom in on Mercury so we can take a look here. Anomaly level 1. We are currently surveying second Polis at 0%. We have 2 skill. The failure risk for this anomaly on Mercury is a 0. This is one of the few times you'll ever see a 0 over here, because it's kind of the tutorial and they always want you to get your first anomaly. It says, during the survey of our home system, we found something on Mercury that did not match earlier observations made of our homeworld. So I tell you what we're going to do. We are going to tell our science ship right here to turn around. It's on course to Polis. We are going to tell it to turn around and come back to Mercury. So let's tell it to research. And when we finish, you see it whipping around and heading back there. Our fleet has finished over here at Sirius. And let's see what we have. Oh, I see an icon. Let's pause it again. We have got an icon here. We have a habitable world. It is, so far, it looks like an 80% habitability. Remember, we are in continental planets. That's our primary form of world that we do best on. So we are estimating an 80% habitability for human if it's a good world for us. It's got 17 sectors, but we will have to survey it. Okay, it's a rocky world with a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere, active and stable hydrosphere. Great land masses are separated by oceans with large climate variations depending on latitude and precipitation. So this we have to remember. This is one that we will definitely want to come back and survey. We've got another barren world, molten world, barren world, and a toxic world. Now remember that just because these are barren and toxic does not mean, here's our reminder about the anomaly here. All right, we'll go ahead and dismiss it since we've dealt with it. Just because we have barren worlds like Bernard's star over there, it may have it may have all these barren and molten worlds, none of which that we are currently able to inhabit, but they may be extremely rich in minerals or gases or something like that. So we'll have to take a look at that, and we'll still need to survey them. In the meantime, let's send our military fleet out and about again, and we will send it down to Knockham. All right, there we go. Now you'll notice any on this map here, as we survey them, their names will turn from gray to white. So we are going to go until something good happens again. And our fleet there should be jumping. There we go. Turn the warp drive on. Okay, let's go to where they are. I'm going to send them to Procyon now. And in the meantime, we are going to zoom in and look at Knockham. Any worlds that have the little symbol beside them? None that I can see. Okay, so I don't think we have anything here that's immediately colonizable either.
As an astute observer may already have noticed, habitable planets are divided into a number of surface tiles. Tiles can generate resources, but we will need planetary buildings to get the most out of them.
Our homeworld already has a few buildings, including our capital, but the time has come to add more. Pops, who are not working resource, that's what the little people are called. In fact, let's go over to Sol, and let's zoom in on Earth. Let's click on it.
This is our homeworld and the capital of our empire. The planet's summary screen, which we are currently looking at, provides an overview of the planet's important statistics.
Among other things, we can see the total number of tiles this planet has, which is right down here. It's got 16.
Here we see a visual representation of this planet's surface, divided into tiles. This tab is only visible on colonies and surveyed worlds that are habitable. Each pop occupies a single tile, which means that there can never be more pops on a planet than there are free tiles.
In addition to a pop, a tile can also support a building. To get the most out of a planet, we will need to carefully manage our pops, buildings, and tiles. So as you see, this one right here, this one's got a mining network because it's got a mining icon down here. This is our planetary administration, so we're getting 4 food and 4 minerals from that. This one has a hydroponics farm, getting the most out of that food. This one has a power plant to get the energy, and this one should have a power plant. Indeed it does. Alright, what we got? Right now we've got this one, and this one is currently... It's 5 out of 45 on its growth. It's still not growing. Until it stops being ghosted and turns into a full human, it won't work on that. It won't be able to do anything on that tile. These areas here are slums. As you see, industrial wasteland, sprawling slums. These are all places that we need to clean up before we can use these tiles. But while we got population that's working areas that don't have buildings, let's go ahead and put them to work. I'm going to build a hydroponics right here. I'll move this one out of the way. Let's move that one out of the way. Alright, terrain details. Diverse forested terrain with a mild climate. As it is right now, it's producing 1 food. So let's look what we can build.
Some buildings may cause adjacency effects to other buildings in neighboring tiles. Let us take this into consideration when constructing new facilities.
So remember about the adjacency effects. The administration building here has a big adjacency effect. All the tiles around it have +1 mineral output, +1 food output, +1 energy, depending on what there is. So these two both have +1 energy. That has an additional food, and this one has an additional mineral. All coming out on that. You see right here the adjacency effect. Alright, so we are going to build a hydroponics farm. Right there. Hydroponics farm is going to take, 189 days? I think that's what that means. I think that means 189 days, not 189 months. But we will see. We will see. So we've taken care of that. Let's look at our situation report up here. And we've added some new ones. Well, we've got planetary buildings. Each population unit, or POP, in our empire works on a surface tile on a planet. Some tiles possess a small amount of resources by default, but planetary buildings are needed to get the most out of our planets and population. Our home world, as we saw, already has a small number of buildings, but we should construct another. Build a hydroponics farm, a mining network, a power plant, or a basic science lab in an available tile. So as you see, we need to build one of those plants, and building the hydroponics farm will finish this particular situation. To do this, click on the home world, go to its surface, hit the build button, everything that you just saw. Building requires minerals, as you saw. And as it says, don't forget to assign a pop. So we've got pretty good on that one. We're surveying our home system. We're doing technology. We're working on the technology, so those are taken care of. Let's see. Tutorial. Make first contact. And investigate the cooks available. All right, we'll take a look at that.
Remarkable. We have discovered spacefaring alien entities that may or may not be intelligent. But, let's face it, probably are. Their true nature will remain a mystery to us until we complete the appropriate project to investigate them. I suggest we do so post-haste, lest they investigate us first.
Okay, so they've updated the situation log there, which is investigate the cooks. That would be, I would imagine, right here. Yep, encounter and solve. So let us go ahead and zoom to it. Where are the cooks, as we're calling them? Trying to see where this aliens are. We should have like an alien fleet. There it is. I'm going to say an alien fleet marker. Let's zoom on in on them. There. Ooh, look at there. I'm going to move these out of the way so we can get a good look at them. There's the alien fleet. They have a power of 78 is our estimated power of them. As you See, they're giant space squids. I'm going to unpause it for a second. See them moving around there. So we got these giant space squids. We're calling them cooks. Let's see. We have encountered some form of alien vessels in the Sol system. These strange objects have been flagged as cooks until we can learn more about them. We should proceed with caution. So we will say, interesting. And that's what started the Investigate Cooks over here. As you see, we need to learn more about the mysterious aliens we have codenamed Cooks. If they possess a language, we must decipher it and establish communications. It'll take 6 months. Let's go ahead and say research. All right, we're researching Cooks. And if we go to our research screen, you'll see busy with special project Investigate Cooks, which means that this is on hold. The investigations we're making into the colony ship. So that's what I said before, is we get a lot of these special investigations will slow up anything you've got in your society research here. We've still got 42 months, energy is going along, 42 months for this, but we're going to have 6 months put aside while we investigate and trying to figure out what these cooks are. All right, contact report. Enigmatic spacefarers. The United Nations of Earth has finally encountered fellow wanderers among the stars. Despite their intentions being unknown and potentially even hostile, the atmosphere on Earth following the report from our contact fleet can best be described as rapturous. And that is largely because we are a xenophile society. If we were xenophobic, we would probably be having a much different reaction to the fact that we have discovered alien life forms, and especially within our own solar system. Science ship is clicking away. It'll be finished investigating that anomaly soon. Let's head to our first fleet. It has investigated Procyon. Are there any planets here? I don't see any kind of habitable markers, so they must all be barren and molten worlds as well. Wow. We are really not having a good amount of luck with our first few systems as we've come along here. We've investigated all these. Let's go to Alpha Centauri next. All right. And we will continue on. As you see, there's a lot of pausing in the early game as you're first setting out on these explorations, running into aliens for the first time. After you've identified the aliens, you don't get those pop-ups quite as often. But once, as you're first finding them and first identifying them and researching, you get these pauses and pop-ups rather quickly. And remember, we've only been doing this for less than 6 months. That we've been going out and exploring the cosmos here, and we've already found our first alien race and our first anomaly. Secrets at the doorstep. The anomaly on the planet Mercury shows traces of other interstellar travelers. A weak FTL trail shows that someone was here long ago, maybe watching our planet for potential allies. It is too diminished to trace any further. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies wherever we get the chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. And because we are due to our having the xenophile ethic, it says, let's find them. If we were xenophobes or some other ethic, we would get different choices down here. So let us go ahead. There we go. So it's done the let's find them. Does that give us a situation? I think that's, let's make first contact. I think that's what that does. Having encountered unknown entities in the blackness of space, we should attempt to establish communication. That's where we're investigating the cooks. So we're finally probably going to finish up both of these once we have finished that particular situation report there. All right, let's look at what our science ship is doing. It should hopefully, yep, it is back to researching the system. So it is going to travel on around here. Our civilian ship, have we found anything yet? Nope, only thing we've investigated so far is Mercury. So it's going to head on over to Pallas. We are going to send our military fleet. Is traveling to Alpha Centauri. So we are going to let it travel. Turn time back on. Oh, it is in Alpha Centauri. My bad. Let's take a look at it. I'm actually going to go ahead and send it. Oh, what have we not come across yet? Let's go on over here to Dastamon. Okay, so we'll send it over there. And while it's flying, let's take a look at Alpha Centauri. Okay, we have got at least one planet here. This one is habitable. Okay, so Alpha Centauri 1 is a habitable planet. 12 spaces. We're not sure how much habitability is right now, so we will have to, once again, survey this system before we'll be able to do that. And the fleet has arrived in Dastanon. There we go. Okay. Quite a few things here. Dastanon has a habitable world, which has a tundra, and we cannot currently colonize a tundra. We will have to get tundra colonization before we can use that world, but it is potentially habitable for us. Very good. Okay, so that's it. We've been about 25 minutes or so here, so I'm going to put in a save game. When next time we see y'all, we will be busily continuing our explorations of the Sol system and using our fleet to explore around in the various systems around us. Think of it, you can think of this as a lot of civilization. Think of the construction ship over there as being your worker. Your science ship here is your scouts, and the first fleet over here is like your warrior unit in the civilization terms. And you've got your cities here, your planets are your cities that you build things on, and it's very much like a space civilization. It really is. So we will see you then. Thanks for watching along, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.